So we've looked at space margins and how there is a link with mental clutter. I want to give you a very different story now, and I want to introduce you to Steph. Steph is a composite of several clients that I deal with. Steph is working in what I would call optimal focus. She's a senior partner in a law firm, and she's a senior partner because she has learned to create space around herself, an environment conducive to allowing her optimal focus when her work requires it. Externally, Steph has been able to create a protected workspace. She has two, one in her chambers and one at home. Her preferred workspace for uninterrupted work is home. She has created appropriate, predictable order. For example, she has 3 tickler files labeled A to Z for current cases, labeled by month, and a third labeled 1 to 31 for the days of the current month. She puts physical papers and files into each of these tickler files. When she started using this system in Chambers, her colleagues teased her. They called it low tech or from the ark, but it works for her. She is mature enough to know that one particular system does not work for everyone. Steph's maxim is keep it simple. Anything more complicated would be a distraction in itself. She has a Windows-based laptop because that syncs well with the corporate client system in her practice. She mirrors her physical filing with a similar filing structure in her personal storage space on her laptop. Rather like always having a place for your car keys, she always puts similar items in the same places and rarely has to waste time fishing around for them. She also has a day-to-a-page diary that doubles as her daybook. Her colleague Frank says he has a better daybook using the bullet journal system, but she doesn't care. Hers is a system that is appropriate for her style of working. When she needs a period of focused effort, she will shut her door. The shared PA knows that signal and will help protect Steph from interruptions when her door is shut. She also puts her desk phone on divert and switches her smartphone to silent. She still hasn't learned yet how to silence all the alerts on her phone. Her informal contract with the world is that when she is working from home, she makes a point never to make herself uncontactable for more than 4 hours. And when she is in the office, that reduces to 1 hour. Steph carries forward a list of priorities from day to day on her day-to-a-page diary. She could have a simpler system, but she will refine it later. She treats her system as a work in progress, periodically tweaking it. As she migrates her commitments each evening, this is where she thinks about her next day's work. She will often abandon a task as no longer relevant and change the priorities as new cases or emergencies arise. So as she copies her commitments from one day to the next, some don't even make the migration. Since she has adopted this personal organization system, Steph has found that she can connect with a pleasurable emotional mix. As she began to focus more consistently, more deeply for longer periods, she experienced what some called flow, a heightened state of engagement in her work. With that came feelings of enjoyment and satisfaction, as well as realizing she is more productive, she is more creative in being aware of other strategies her clients could consider. As a result, she has become much in demand. Let's look at a diagram of what optimal focus might look like. Here you see the external world, the external space on the left, and the internal world, the internal space on the right. For the external world, she's got her do not disturb strategies, like working from home, switching her phone to silent, putting her desk phone on divert, shutting the door for the PA to recognize the signal. And also she has habits of appropriate, predictable order. She is counseling her colleagues and her clients and her family when they can expect to hear from her, when she will be contactable. On the right-hand side, in her internal world, Steph is developing a sense of where she wants to be in her law practice, a clear personal destiny. This is helping her define day by day, week by week, month by month, a clear purpose, which also begins to drive out clear priorities. We'll look at this a little later when we look at some of the aspects of the soul of self-leadership. Also, she has a routine review. She's building in a discipline, a habit, where she captures commitments and reviews them. And then there's this sense of flow that's emerging, a satisfaction with these periods of deep focus and concentration. She's beginning to experience emotions of joy and creativity as she becomes aware that her productivity is rising. This sense of flow is interacting with her optimal focus. She's developing a strong intrinsic motivation as she engages with office life, with court life in her law practice. She's beginning to look forward to it because she's anticipating these moments of flow. So if we compare this with the diagram of mental clutter, the optimal focus diagram, can you see, is a little clearer, which mirrors the confusion of the mental clutter diagram. But it's almost the mirror image, it's almost the opposite of mental clutter. So this is the assignment I want to give you for the end of this module, and it's not to actually write anything down this time. You can, if you choose, you might want to journal it, but I simply want you to do this. I want you to imagine your perfect workspace. I want you to imagine protecting yourself from interruptions. How would you do that? I want you to imagine practicing in whatever your job or professional calling is, a growing sense of flow in periods of protected isolation. Enjoy it.